I think sometimes life has this great burden on us over the years as we grow up. When you're a child, you're very careless, very free, thinking of almost nothing. But as responsibilities come, as you age, as life hits you here and there, we gather so many things on ourselves that stop us from pushing forward. Hi everyone, OAHA back once again. I'm always so happy to be making these videos for you guys, and I look forward to making so many more. I know how overwhelming a new year can be, so I'm hoping that you guys are kicking off the year just okay, and you guys are giving yourself grace, taking things one step at a time, and most importantly, being consistent. I think the new year is a perfect example, is a perfect, what's the word? I think a perfect example for the conversation I'm here to have today. I'm touching more of the topic on de-shedding ourselves. I think sometimes life has this great burden on us over the years as we grow up. When you're a child, you're very careless, very free, thinking of almost nothing. But as responsibilities come, as you age, as life hits you here and there, we gather so many things on ourselves that stop us from pushing forward. We gather people's beliefs, we gather our own illusions, we gather society's pressures, we gather social media. Social media, I think it's a constant back and forth for so many people. Social media is beautiful. I think social media is a good, great tool to be able to connect with so many different people far and wide. I think is a blessing. But depending on how one is using it, I know that there are so many people who are guilty for using social media for what it was. Maybe it was created for, but I don't really think everyone who created social media created it to distract you, put burdens on you, make you compare yourself, make you question yourself. So all these things I've listed, I think can really, really affect how we see ourselves. I think, like I was saying, there are people who will wake up, they have decided who they want to be today. They wake up in the morning, they run for it, and they open their social media, and it's a completely new mentality because they doubt themselves, they doubt the person that they are. It's a constant distraction for so many people and so many of us. And I think that's why I was very motivated to do this video, reminding you to be cautious about de-shedding the mentalities that have kept you stagnant, de-shedding the mindsets and illusions that have held you in one place and is stopping you from moving forward. I heard one time that I think they said 80% of people don't think their dreams can come true. And I think I think because people are too afraid to be themselves, and the ones who are themselves create a path that other people start to follow. And I think that can really do us all a very big disservice. Because if your mind is suffering, your experiences will suffer too. So today, I want us to be able to check within ourselves, ask ourselves questions. What are the mentalities? What are the burdens that are keeping me from moving forward? Because if you can't, it's like peeling an onion. I'm sure some people use the back of the onion for different reasons, but most people want what's inside the onion. But if you can't take off everything that's on the outside, you're never going to be able to get to what you really want. So I want you to teach yourself, give yourself grace, and slowly, surely, consistently start to let go of things that are no longer serving you. You're in a situation and you are so used to pointing fingers. Everyone is the problem. This person is my problem. That mentality will stop you from moving forward. So that is the whole point. That is an example of what I mean by de-shedding ourselves and creating ourselves anew. Not necessarily anew, but creating a version of ourselves that is needed in the time that we are in. The old version of yourself most likely is the reason why you're still where you are, because there's a saying, old, an old sackcloth can't carry new wine. You basically can't use an old sackcloth for new things. So guys, let's help ourselves learn to be a fresher version of ourselves, and we can't do that until we let go of all the things that are stopping us, stopping our minds. It can even come from family, it can come from friends, it can come from your exposure, but evaluate yourself. Let's make it a habit to evaluate ourselves as we go, making sure that we are taking accountability for the lives that we want. So yeah, that, and I think a lot of times so many people really underestimate the importance of gaining maturity, gaining responsibility. So many times I'm a sister and I have younger ones, so it's so important to me to to remind my siblings the importance of responsibility, because I think that is a great way for us to become a new version of ourselves. I think that is a great way for us to be able to see ourselves clearly. If we're not able to be responsible, if we're not able to take accountability for our choices, we are not going to see the road as clearly as we will when there is maturity. You know, we need maturity, and I want to always remind you guys the importance of maturity and why maturity is so important and why responsibility is also so important. I think fear plays a very large role in people becoming a better person or better people. Sorry, my English may not always be the best, just roll with me. I think a lot of people are afraid because people are greatly afraid of the unknown. When you have no idea what it's going to do for you, what it's going to create you as, I think in a large way, people really are afraid of putting in the work to become a better person. Some people cling onto the burdens they know because they're used to it. Some people cling onto the bad that they know because that's all they've known. And people want to always have this sense of control, this sense of normalcy in their lives, and sometimes that is what keeps people stuck. But and if this happens to be you, I really want to remind you that life is way better for you if you get up and go after the life that you really want, the ways that you really want to think, the decisions you really want to make, the things you really want to do. It's easier to fit in than it is to stand out, but standing out will always bring you better experiences. And I want you to always remind yourself of that. Oh yeah, so I heard this from a podcaster called Chris Williamson. He's really good, and to a large extent he works with scientists and people who really do the numbers. And if we really look at the world, how many people are getting up and making life what they want it to be? I think it's becoming more because of social media. So social media has its pros and has its cons, and in this generation it's really having a lot of pros when it comes to success, when it comes to people doing things. But I think a lot of doing things stem from just wanting to not be left out and wanting to be famous. I think I'm of this strange belief that if people really, if we normalize people being themselves, not a lot of things will be so not a lot of things will be so glamorous all the time. Because some people really just want to be happy. Some people really just want to build their family. Some people really just want to do normal things. But fitting in this generation seems like such a big deal to a lot of people. A lot of people want to do things that will make them part of the pack, because being left out is feels scary for some. And to be afraid is okay. I think I don't like to throw away emotions. I believe all our emotions come to play large parts in our life, and fear is one of them. I think when we can teach ourselves to understand the emotions that we feel, we will navigate better. If we teach ourselves to not run away from fear, or not run away from, or to not run away from all the bad emotions. We tell people to look at things as one is better, one is good, one is not good, one is pure and one is not pure. But every emotion comes to play a bigger part in our lives. I'm of the belief that life is beautiful, but it's very complex. And one size cannot fit all. So maybe that's where the numbers really have to be thrown away. But if there are people who are professionals in things like psychology, maybe talking to people a lot, doctors, all these different things, and they see a large number of situations playing a part, it's only right to understand that that's a large scale suffering that a lot of people in the world are going through. And I think not understanding our emotions really plays a big part in all of that. I think people are afraid of bad emotions and they embrace only good emotions. But I don't think God made a mistake when He created everyone. I don't think God made a mistake when He threw certain things into the world. I think we're all meant to have very great resilient minds if we want to. It really stems from a personal choice. I think we can all face our fears. We can all face the life that we really, really, truly want for ourselves. Would it come with its own hardships? Yes, but I know a lot of people don't like to hear it, but life is beautiful, but life is hard, and there's really nothing anyone can do about it. Life is hard, and hard doesn't have to be bad. Hard doesn't always have to be bad. You want to be good at what you do. You wake up every morning that same time and practice. Is that hard very nice? For some people, no, but it's going to create great results for you at the end of the day. So if we embrace the hardness of life more often, I think we will all make headway, and we will all know ourselves to a deeper level. That's why, I said it's so important for people to de-shed, because I think so many mindsets, so many false thinking. I see it so many times on social media. Before, I used to be so curious. I always wanted to see every opinion everyone had to say, because people's opinion counts. But it's become so, what's the word? Social media has made every single person have so many different views on one topic. And it's okay to have different views on one topic, but now a lot of times you see people forcing you to take that, because people are not okay to accept that other people are also very different and they should have their own mentality, they should live their own lives. So people go on social media and they just pick every single thing they hear. It's like a sponge. They just keep absorbing, and it becomes so heavy. So I think it's so important that at every point in our life we de-shed, we evaluate ourselves, and we see, okay, how far has this thinking taken me to? How far has this behavior, has this habit, has this the system I've created within myself, how far has it taken me to so far? And I think when we evaluate ourselves enough, consistently enough, we're able to de-shed certain things. The mindset I had maybe 5 years ago will not be able to work today for me, because I de-shed. I had to let go of certain things, because I realized that they cannot take me further. They will only keep me stagnant. So I really, really want people to understand that it's important to deliberately make decisions to stop certain things, to let go of certain things. And people don't know that it's something that they have to do. People rely on life being so automatic that they just think that I'm going to get to a certain age, it's going to fall, I'm going to become mature, I'm going to become an adult. But adulting and maturity are very different. Adulting comes with age. Maturity is a choice. You choose to handle things maturely. You choose to see your life in a mature way. It's a personal choice, and that can only come if we deliberately evaluate our behaviors, we deliberately evaluate our choices, the things that we want. And I speak from personal experience because these are the things that constantly keep refining me. Because there are ways maybe in the past I would have said, oh, I don't have a problem, I'm good, I'm all right. But evaluating myself honestly and truthfully, I look back and I see that actually this behavior is not going to get me too far. It may have kept me, it may have allowed me to survive, but who wants to survive all their life? You're always going to you have all your life to survive. Give yourself pockets to thrive. Give yourself moments to just thrive. And thriving can only come when you get to a point where you make decisions that really work for you. You know, people people amaze me. Just understanding people, understanding different mindsets amaze me. And so many times I see, watching TV, watching people, you see that a lot of people aren't deliberate about their lives, so they end up suffering things that they would have avoided if they just thought it through. Like, I often tell people that I'm fully aware that a man is not a woman and a woman is not a man. And we calculate our lives and the priorities very differently. You see, so many people think certain things are just going to come automatically to them. And they later on in life just see that, oh, if I really thought it through, I would have actually been able to achieve it. And it's still achievable when you're much older, but it's not as easy as it would have been achievable when the time was right. Do you get what I mean? So you see so many people in positions where when they're 60, when they're 80, they look back and they say, oh, I wish I knew better. And I think no matter how well you live your life, you're always going to have moments where you look back and you think, oh, I should have done this. But that's okay. But when that mentality takes up a large space of your life, where you would have made many, many decisions and you didn't because you were not deliberate, I think that's a suffering we can all avoid if we make maturity a deliberate decision, if we make responsibility a deliberate decision, if we make letting go of things that don't serve us a very deliberate decision. I will always be an advocate for responsibility. And responsibility has nothing to do with you being a saint. You can be the worst human being in the world. If you do it responsibly, trust me, even good people will clap for you. That's the thing about responsibility. Responsibility doesn't give a shit. Sorry. Oh. Responsibility doesn't care about, this is why I want to bring more of my personality to the camera, because my words sometimes can be very strong. But responsibility doesn't really care how you look. Responsibility doesn't really care what side of life you're on. What responsibility does is bring order to your life. And when there's order in your life, you navigate better. You're able to take yourself from the earth to the skies or whatever. Basically, you're able to shoot high as you want to shoot, because you're aiming well. Your aim is better because there's clarity. Responsibility has this beautiful way of making our path clear for us to see. So I'm not gunning for responsibility because I'm a saint. I'm definitely far away from that, but I'm gunning for responsibility because it refines your life. It makes your life clearer. It cleans the corners of your life, your mind, your emotions, the things that you do. The more responsible you become, the more deliberately mature you become, the more refined you are. And when you're more refined, so will your experiences be. I'm a big believer that, we can point out to different people. We can say we don't want to do life with people. And it's very important to know the people you should be doing life with and the people you shouldn't be doing life with. But when that is your entire focus, when you are constantly focused on this person is the problem, outsiders are the problem, you're not going to be able to focus on you. And it is you that you need. It is you that is going to be able to take yourself to where you should be, how you should be thinking. If it's your emotional dreams, if it's your physical dreams, that will be able to take you further. Because when you become a better person, so does your experiences. Your question is, what of the 20%, if we're calculating 80%, what happens to the 20%? So my view on life is that socially, when you're doing the calculations, whether we like it or not, there's always going to be people in the high highs, people in the low lows, and people in between. And how I see it is that there are people who are locked in certain mentalities who are, and it's helping them. Maybe, these ones are so positive. And then there's the low lows where these people don't see what these people at the high see. And then there's the in between where they don't fit into anywhere because they understand how to be in the high highs and they understand how to be in the low lows. So to answer that question, I think it really falls back on what I was saying previously. When you stop looking outside and stop thinking people have your answer, when you start actually looking on the inside and de-shedding the mentalities that are not serving you. So what is the mentality in her case that's not serving her? You constantly keep looking at blogs, podcasts, motivational speaking, all these different things. I am not really a fan of people relying on those things. I don't want anyone to watch me and rely on me. What I'm here to do is to let you know and remind you consistently that you can only take bits and pieces from what people say, but it's not going to do anything if you don't make a decision on who you want to be. You have to understand that you have the tools within yourself. You have the ability to take yourself. First off is believing that you can do it. A lot of people don't naturally believe they can. And secretly too, there's just this silent anchor somewhere in their heart that they just don't believe that they can. Because if you really do believe you can, you're not going to rely on 1,001 people telling you how to, when to, what to. Because when you actually believe you can, when you open your social media and you tap into, listen to one person, listen to another person, even if that person has wonderful things to say or that person has beautiful things to say, you know that it has nothing to do. It doesn't resonate with you. You don't need it. So I feel like that's why inner dialogue is so important. Finding a home within yourself. I believe that people need to go and do the job by themselves. People know what to do. They know what they want. They just are constantly thinking that people need to tell them how to do it or where to go. So I am such a big believer on going within you, going on the inside and having your own life, creating your own rules and regulations, knowing yourself. There's this thing that I said one time when I was having a conversation. Know who you are and be okay with it. You have to figure out who you are and who you want to be and be okay with it. Then run with that. That way you're not going to adapt every single thing everyone tells you, no matter where it comes from. I believe everyone counts and everyone's ways of getting their mind fed or their heart fed or their soul fed is important. But for me, even going to church, if I go to church, I cannot rely on the person preaching. I have to rely on who I am and who I've chosen to be. What the person says is just going to be the ingredient in the whole process. It's just, I have to resonate with it. I have to understand what the person is saying. And just because I'm in church doesn't mean I have to adapt to every single thing that one is saying. I believe that to be a child of God, is to really, really build your own life with God. Is to build a sanctuary that nobody can tamper with. Nobody can come in there and tell you, because I can read 100 scriptures, this is how you're meant to live your life. It's not realistic. I believe even God would love for his children to have their own lives. I believe even God would love for his children to come back at him and tell him, oh, I went to church today and I heard someone say this, but I don't agree with this. Can you please explain that to me? And God is so beautiful. I always say something. People ask God questions, people talk to God, but they never wait to hear replies. They believe replies is in blessings, is in promotion, is in money. But sometimes God is talking to us in so many different ways. He's replying us in so many different ways. So if we actually make it a habit and make it so important to create our own mind, to create our own life. That's why this topic is so important. De-shedding. De-shed the things you've gained over time. The mentalities. I don't really care where they've come from or who they've come from. If it doesn't resonate with who you want to be, let it go. I really, 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 really believe that everyone has, God did not make a mistake when he created different people. If God wanted everybody to be the same and have the same things, he would have probably created 100 of me, 100 of another person, 100 of another person, because it's like, you guys just be the same. But I believe there was a very important decision when God made us who we are separately in our own lives. We came out from our mother's womb by ourselves. We are by ourselves. We look the way we look. We act the way we act. Because it's okay to be yourself. And if you're not able to dive into your own individuality, that is also why that video from the first video that I uploaded on YouTube is so important. Individuality will help you. Individuality will guide you, because your inner compass knows you. Your inner compass knows where you're meant to go. Your inner compass knows the things you're meant to take and also the things you're meant to let go of. We have to make it just as a priority to let go of certain things that do not favor us. And if it's reading 10 books, it's okay to enjoy those things. If you want to listen to a preaching, or you want to listen to someone's podcast, or you want to listen to someone's listening, don't just listen to it and then make it who you are. Listen to it and take the things that can fit in your own reality, that can fit in your own puzzle. We all have our own puzzles and we have to tap into who we are. So I think a lot of people struggle to find their own identity because they have picked what their parents have taught them, what their teachers have taught them, their friends, influence, good or bad. Even some good things you have to let go of. Because if that good thing served you before, that good thing is not going to serve you now. For example, somebody has toxic families or toxic friends and toxic people around them. Because 10 years ago, the person was all about love and peace and family. It's not going to serve them maybe now. Maybe they have a family of their own or they have children. It does not make any sense to bring that toxicity that you accepted in the past into the future, because raising a child is such a great responsibility. And a responsible parent will know to protect their children. So that good mentality that, is making me, I'm choosing my family, I'm choosing peace over anything. That same good is not going to help you in the future, because you have to protect your own children. So we have to just know what to let go of as we grow, as we age, as we move forward. Certain habits that used to help people when they were 16, 20, 25, 50. It's not going to help them 5 years after. And that is just life. So it's so important that we let go and we de-shed, we unlearn and we relearn certain things so we can take ourselves to where we want to be. We're all here to share this experience with each other. We're all here to learn things together. But your life is your own, and what you make of it is what you would experience. So don't let people define your life for you. Take good when you need to take good, but know yourself. Know who you are. Know what you want. Know who you want to be and be okay with it. Because the moment you are okay with who you want to be, every single decision you make, as long as it's from a true place, it's from a good place, it's okay. That decision is exactly what you need to do. That decision is exactly who you need to be. I think we really, really, really need to prioritize living our own lives and being open to lessons, learn people's opinions. You can be open to all those things, but you don't have to use them to define who you are. Don't forget your inner compass. Don't forget your own complexities, your own puzzle. You are making your own puzzle. So make sure that at every time it fits. It fits. The decisions fit. The choices fit. I used to say something, and I always say something that I'm not used to. I still say that I want my life to be my own. I want to get to the end of my life and leave my own signature on my life. And how can I do that? I can't do that by becoming every single thing everyone tells me to become. I can't do that by becoming every single thing I watch or see on social media. I can only do that if I am true to who I am and true to what I am at that moment. Understanding and seeing, discerning that I'm growing, I'm changing, I'm becoming. For someone who is in their lowest points, what will be the reference for looking inwards? Is that what we said? What will be the reference to looking inwards? I think when you are in your lowest points, the best thing to do is to tell yourself the truth. Maybe start by accepting the situation. Start by telling yourself the truth about the situation and what is causing you unhappiness. Who is causing you unhappiness? What do you need to eliminate and what do you need to add on? What are the decisions that you need to make you a better person? I think I would answer that question. If I were at a very low point, the first thing I do is to accept the situation. So I speak to myself kindly. I tell myself it's going to be okay, not because I just think it's going to be okay, because I ask myself the next question, which is, what are the things you need to do to change the situation? What can you do? What are the steps you need to do to make the situation differently? And depending on the answer, then you execute. Action is what defines us. So if you're stagnant and you're not taking action, you're always going to be confused. So what are the steps I need to take to take myself out of this? Is it of my doing? Is it of another person's doing? Do I need to eliminate myself from the situation? Do I need to give the situation a bit more understanding? I think the answer to that question really cannot be generalized. I think depending on everyone, I think the first step will always be to accept the situation. And not accept it to stay in it, but accept it to be able to navigate out of it. I don't know if that answers your question. Did I answer? You can feel free to push me further if you need to. Maybe I don't have enough clarity on the question. But depending on the situation, I think no one life can be generalized. We can only take from here to there, but we can't generalize the topic. So depending on the situation, I think the first thing to do is to accept where you are and ask yourself, what are the things that I'm doing to add to this suffering? Am I the one adding to my suffering? And if I'm not the one adding to my suffering, how can I eliminate what is adding to my suffering? I think action is just what defines us. So as long as you're taking necessary action, to take yourself out of that situation, then depending on the situation, sometimes the action is to do nothing. The action is just to take care of yourself. Go to bed, take a shower, think good thoughts, do what you can do until the answer comes its own way. Life is not general. We can't all fit in one box. One size does not fit all. So depending on the person.
Thank you. Alright, so we need to do the conclusion.
2025, and we can really, let's start this year, run this year, and end this year with being our most authentic selves. I want us together to start this year, run the year, and end the year making sure we are as authentic to ourselves as best as we can. Not only to sleep well at night, but to be able to create better experiences for ourselves, because it starts within you. People can come and tell you how to be, what to be, but it has to, when you realize who you are on the inside, it's not everything that people tell you, no matter how wonderful it is, it's not everything that you're going to take, because it has to fit the puzzle for you to take it on. So this year, I want us to de-shed the old things that don't work for you anymore, mindsets that don't work for you anymore, illusions. I know people love to say Delulu is the Solulu. Delulu is not the Solulu, my dear. Delulu is going to waste your time, and when you've gotten to the point where common sense is back up and running, you're going to regret that you were not more deliberate than you were not as deliberate as you should be. Delusions are fun, but they are not reality, and they are not going to be able to give you the reality that you deserve. So we are de-shedding, we are maturing deliberately, and we are choosing to be responsible. Not because responsibility is some saintly thing or some great, it makes you better than another person. You're becoming responsible so you can refine yourself. And the more you refine yourself, the better your experiences. Our lives are all shaped by our experiences. And the more refined you are, the more beautiful your experiences will be. Gain responsibility. Understand the power of maturity and run with it. Create your life. Take the decisions you need to take to make your life what it needs to be. Some people ask themselves, what are the things I need to do to be more responsible? Face fear. Face the things that you're afraid of. Understand it better. Get clarity. Keep the promises that you make to yourself. Make realistic promises to yourself. As much as we love to do fake it till you make it, Delulu's the Solulu, what are the other slangs? We build too much around illusions, and it's really not helping us. It can bring things to your life, it can bring stuff to your life, but the things that illusions bring to your life are things that can be taken away from you. But when you make decisions based on the reality of your life, these are things that stay, and they stay forever. These are things that stay, and you can pass them on. You can leave a legacy. Legacy is not only for billionaires. Legacy is not only for people who have it all figured out in their life. Anybody can choose to leave a legacy. Legacy in how you make your decisions, the things that you see, the things that you do. If you have people around you, you have children, it's an honor for other people, even your children, to be able to look up to your life and say, this life is so worthy. This person's life has brought about them beautiful experiences, and I would love to follow that. That alone is living a legacy. And the more it keeps refining, the more it keeps passing. It's worthy enough to be passed down from generation to generation. Clean your mind so your mind is sharp. Clean your heart so your heart is clear. When there is more order on the inside, there is more ease. There is better navigation, and you will be able to take yourself to where you want to be. So guys, moving forward, I'm so grateful to be doing this. I want to be able to grow into doing this more. I want to be able to show more of my personality. I want to be able to have so much more fun with you guys. And as I go, I'm also de-shedding, I'm also learning, I'm also refining myself. So I bring you guys my best, and I bring you guys things that come from my truth. And that being said, I wish you all the very best, and I'm grateful to be on this platform. I'm grateful to have you guys come on this platform to listen to me. Thank you for coming on here. It means the world to be able to do these videos, and I can't wait to learn so much more, to do so much more, so I can bring more of my personality, my character, and the fun person that I am. So I look forward to doing more of this with you guys. Thank you guys, and I will see you in many, many more videos. Your favorite host, OAHA. Bye bye.